It's 3 a.m., and the night sky suddenly blazes brighter than daylight. In a flash of blinding light, an entire city's population vanishes without a trace. Is it some eerie supernatural force at work, or a stealthy invasion from beyond the stars? Buckle up, because we're diving into this chilling tale of survival and mystery. Fast forward, or rather, rewind, to a week earlier. Our protagonist Jenny and her boyfriend Jason are vacationing in Iceland, completely captivated by its breathtaking natural wonders. Jenny can't stop raving about Mother Nature's incredible artistry, even joking that she'd love to settle down there forever if she could. But on the night before they're set to head home, Jenny spots a strange white light glowing on the horizon through her window. The dazzling beam forces her to squint, but she brushes it off as something like the Northern Lights and heads back to bed without a second thought. The next morning, Jason knocks on Jenny's door, ready for breakfast. They head to the hotel restaurant, but it's deserted. No staff, no guests. Assuming everyone's just sleeping in, they bundle up and step outside to find food elsewhere. That's when the weirdness hits them. The whole city is eerily silent, streets empty, with only scattered trash hinting at its former bustle. Stunned and confused, they exchange glances. Maybe there's a big event somewhere, drawing the crowds? But as they venture deeper, the situation feels far more sinister. Supermarkets stand wide open with no clerks in sight. It's like everyone just evaporated, or they'd have locked up, right? They scour the city for clues, checking malls, stores, and knocking on doors. But it's a ghost town. Finally, they stumble into a bar where chairs are neatly arranged, frozen in time from last night's closing. The creepy vibe pushes Jenny to the edge, but she steels herself and flips on the wall-mounted TV. Every news channel is off the air. Disheartened, they leave. Jenny frowns at her phone. It has signal, but calls go unanswered. Back at the hotel, Jason fires up his laptop for news, only to find all sites stuck on yesterday's midnight updates. They're baffled, tossing around wild theories. Even alien invasions wouldn't be this quiet, would they? Jason has an idea. He drags Jenny outside to the city's highest point for a better view. Just steps away, they spot a car idling in the road, engine running, but no driver. They hop in and drive up to the ritzy hilltop neighborhood, only to find it equally abandoned. Where did everyone go? They stare out over the silent city, answers eluding them as night falls. Exhausted, they trudge back to the hotel. Jenny collapses on the sofa, dazed, wishing it was all a nightmare that sleep would fix. But dawn brings the same cold reality. The laptop's lost its connection from neglect, and Jenny gazes out at the lifeless world, aching for home and family. Jason, clinging to reason, insists that even in an apocalypse, they need to eat. He pulls her to an unmanned supermarket stocked with goodies. They load up carts like kids in a candy store, filling a trunk before Jason borrows a shiny new SUV from a dealership. But storage is an issue. The hotel fridge won't cut it. Time for an upgrade. They cruise to a mansion in the upscale district, once a distant dream, now their new pad. As days pass, Jenny starts adapting to this end-of-the-world vibe. If you can't beat it, embrace it, right? They indulge in the abandoned world's luxuries, raiding clothing stores for fancy outfits, stocking up on essentials, and sipping premium wines at bars. They rule the planet, claiming mountains and rivers as their own, marking every spot with memories of love and freedom. But peace never lasts. One day while shopping, Jason slips and hurts his arm. Jenny's face darkens as she scolds him for being reckless. What if it's serious? No doctors around. Jason shrugs it off, saying he's just living it up, sparking a huge fight. Cooling down, he realizes she's right and shows up with flowers, apologizing for his impulsiveness. Yet Jenny spirals into depression. The argument shatters their illusion. They're utterly alone. Humans aren't meant for isolation like wild animals. She craves family back home, not this foreign limbo. Jason tries to rally her. If they can't change it, let's build our own world together. But she's over it, uninterested in his optimism. When they return to the mountaintop, the hot springs have dried up from lack of maintenance. Jenny recalls her old joke about settling there, but now she wants nothing to do with it. Sensing her despair, Jason suggests trying the airport. Predictably, it's deserted, planes grounded, dreams of flying out dashed. At least the city's geothermal power keeps the lights on for years without upkeep. Other systems, though, not so much. One day the mansion's water cuts out. Jenny panics. Without water, they're doomed. Food in stores will spoil, produce rotting away. The next morning, the duo hops into their SUV and heads to the outskirts, desperate for any sign of hope. After a full day of driving, all they find in the wilderness is the wreckage of an airplane, its body battered and scarred, with some scribbled words on the surface, likely just an abandoned scrap. They spend the night in the cabin, then drive back to the city the following day, only to be greeted by the same lifeless void. Jenny makes it a daily ritual to boot up the computer, checking if the internet has miraculously come back online. While scavenging supplies at the supermarket, Jason stumbles upon a bunch of water pipes. Drawing on his solid physics knowledge, he rigs up a simple pumping device. This breakthrough fills them with optimism. Maybe they can even grow fresh veggies down the line. That afternoon, they wander into a flower shop by chance, but the sight inside is heartbreaking. The floor littered with wilted petals, every plant dead and decayed. It hits Jenny hard, stirring up fresh grief, as if this is a preview of the entire city's fate. Unwilling to give up, they switch up their route and drive to a more remote suburb. As dusk falls, Jason pulls over at a modest cabin, and they decide to crash there for the night. Without a second thought, they barge right in. Deep down, they've accepted that they're the last two people on Earth. But when Jason steps out to gather firewood, an old man suddenly emerges from the woods, looking just as shocked and thrilled to see another human after so long. Jason quickly offers him some water to calm down, and the three head back inside to chat. After the bizarre event, the old man had ditched his city job and retreated to this family home. But his loved ones had all vanished. He'd been surviving on stored supplies alone. Now, with everything running low, he was ready to end it all. Jason's heart aches hearing this. He urges the man not to lose hope. They're not alone anymore, and if they stick it out, they might find more survivors. But the old man has his own wishes. He just wants to join his family in heaven soon. His words shattered Jenny's fragile bubble once more. All this time, she's avoided facing the truth about where the vanished people went. If it was anything normal, they'd have starved by now without food or water. In other words, the chances of finding anyone alive are fading fast. Come morning, Jenny finds the old man has passed peacefully in his sleep. Jason buries him in the backyard, figuring it's a way to reunite him with his kin. Jenny doesn't get it, though. What's the point of burials in a world like this? She vows to scour the entire city top to bottom, leaving no regrets behind. They drive through every street, marking empty houses with red tape to confirm no one's inside. Jason thinks it's pointless, but supports her quietly anyway. After a week of exhaustive searching, they've covered most of the city, and Jenny has to admit it's all been in vain. Maybe they really are the last survivors on the planet. Her face grows paler by the day, like a flower slowly withering. She spends hours staring at old photos on the computer, her homesickness overwhelming her. She can't bear this isolation any longer. The next morning, Jason wakes to find Jenny gone, but spots photos left on the table. Flipping through them, he sees her once bright smile fade into sorrow, and panic sets in. He races through the city in the car, searching everywhere, but she's nowhere to be found. Remembering her favorite hot springs, he floors it there and spots her vehicle at the base of the hill. Without hesitation, he bolts to the springs, only to be devastated by the sight. Jenny floating motionless in the water. He dives in, pulls her to shore, but it's too late. She's gone. Kneeling by the edge, Jason breaks down and sobs. Staring at her body, he wonders if there's any point in going on alone. As he submerges himself, the suffocating pain forces him back up, and he ultimately abandons the idea of ending it all. From now on, it might just be Jason scraping by in this empty world. And that's the full recap of the movie The Vanished. It's a shame the film never explains where all those people went. That open ending might leave you frustrated, but the guy's choice to keep living at the end? Definitely the smart move. After all, someone like Jenny, with her artistic soul, is more the exception. Think about other apocalypse stories where survivors fight tooth and nail over scraps. While these two had endless resources, no rivals and no threats from animals. They were living the dream so many would kill for without even realizing it. Goes to show, human desires are never truly satisfied. All right, that's it for today. If you've got different takes, drop them in the comments. We can chat it out. If you enjoyed this recap, smash that like button, hit subscribe for more movie breakdowns just like this, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. See you next time.